All right, everybody, here for a brand deep dive with Jerry Cooper from AirServe. I've known Jerry for quite a few years, and so very excited to have you on today, Jerry. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Glad to be here.
All right, perfect. And so you guys may have already seen that kind of quick franchise speed dating that Cece did with Jerry. I've got a ton of questions around it, lots of interest, which makes sense because this is a kind of big Goliath historic brand, right? It feels a little less risky when you have a neighborly behind you in the strong growth. But anyway, so we're going to take a deep dive and kind of get into some of the weeds that Cece's not able to on those quick calls. So thank you again, Jerry. Let's start out with like, what is AirServe? What's the industry kind of basics if you haven't Googled it yet?
AirServe is heating, air conditioning, and air quality. All aspects that are in every single home. That is the industry.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you. And so talk a little bit about that as
Mhm.
far as customers that you serve. I have to assume mostly residential, not as much B2B. And my assumption again too is, I'm a homeowner and I wake up and it's July in Wisconsin and my air conditioning's not on.
Absolutely. So this is residential, just like all of Neighborly.
Okay.
And an owner can do commercial a little bit if they like. The big difference is if you do commercial, you're going to be going out for RFP, request for proposals, which means it's a lower price. You have to be the lowest price out there.
Okay.
And then you're going to work on receivable. Then you're going to be waiting for your money, but you're already going to be doing all the work. So the plus with Neighborly and the plus with HVAC and AirServe is it's a very big ticket, has recurring revenue. So when you take care of someone, they give you a MasterCard, they give you an American Express, or they finance through one of our partners that we have financing for them. Every walk out your front door, every home, townhome, apartment, everything you can think of has this. It is not, there's two types of franchises. There's the aspirational, I wish we had the money to do X. Then there's the, you better do it now or we're going to die, which is HVAC. So you said Wisconsin. I was in Florida for 10 years in Delray Beach. I stayed at the Marriott in Delray Beach 3 times. Power went out. We had a generator, but not enough for the air conditioner. And that isn't going to cut it. So there's your essential aspect.
Thank you. I love it. So now talk a little bit about the franchisee owner's day in the life. I have now bought and been awarded an AirServe franchise. What does my day look like? What am I doing?
First of all, you're not an HVAC person. And I think we talked about this earlier. So everybody out there, this is not they're going to have those technicians. So I just had this conversation an hour before we started. What you're going to have here is you're going to have an executive who is running a machine. They're coming in there and they're making sure that the calls from the night before are all in the system, that the front desk has called them, let them know Mike and Deb are coming out. They're going to be there between 9 and 12. We're going to make sure the routing's done, make sure everybody's here, make sure that all the vendors are ready to go, because everything about AirServe is just in time. So they're not having to load up a truck with a great big unit. They're going to go out and see what's happening. So they are watching everything. At the same time, they're working with brand leading marketing people from Neighborly to make sure that what's happening with the marketing, what's our hit on that, how's the customer satisfaction. A lot of this is what they would do if they were a vice president of marketing at a company, if they were an ISO 9000 manager. They are running that show and keeping the machine moving.
Okay.
That's their day.
On that note, I think when I've talked about AirServe or HVAC in general in the past, conception of the people that I speak with is that, wow, that's probably a really competitive business, that there's probably quite a few guys. I've seen the trucks on the road type thing. I mean, you guys are growing like crazy. So I have to, you have an answer for that question, right? Like, what's up with the competition out there?
Okay, so this may sound trite. It's the same thing as if we were with McDonald's. Okay, why would you want a McDonald's? There's a million other places out there because of the brand, because of brand loyalty. Okay. So as far as competition, Neighborly in general, but let's go to AirServe. We approach it from a higher level. We also have multiple people that are happy with our other brands. They like to stay within the brand. So the plus for the owner is, let's just say that you're in Louisville. Well, in Louisville, I have 9 of my other brands. We have our app. We have very high net promoter scores. We have people that are happy. So they're going to interact with the owners. Are going to all interact together. They're going to share best practices. They're going to share marketing ideas. They're also going to have people who are very loyal to them and say, this is the kind of business that there's really not great customer service in the trades.
Okay.
Have you ever had anybody to your house where you go, I'm not going with this person no matter what?
Right. Or they say they're going to get there sometime between 8 and 3.
And they never do.
Right.
It's hard to trust them. So we have a code of value. And when we come in, not only are the people going to get the text to see that the uniformed person stopping in, a clean van is pulling up and not a dilapidated van. Okay. They're going to see someone who'll show ID, put down a mat, put on the booties. And if they gave them a quote and a range on the phone, we're typically going to be right on the money. So they're going to have a trust factor.
Okay.
Marketing is all about trust, delivery, expectation. So that tends to get the people that have had such bad experience with everybody else to say, I'm sticking with them.
Okay.
So it's a matter of execution. The key is, though, it's the kind of business where, like I say, step out your front door, Lisa. Every place you see has air conditioning. We're not in a third world. Everything has heat. They're not all using the same people. And everybody says, if I could find somebody better, I'd change. Well, we hope to be that better, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you. And I mean, I think we cannot belittle the fact that this is neighborly. You guys are the Goliath in this space, right? So what that goes to, if you're not franchise talk all day long, is the fact that your bench of support is pretty much unmatched. I mean, if Neighborly has any hill to die on, it's going to be our owners have support from start to finish, from insurance for the family to best practices for how to run a business, buying power from, I'm going to say it again, the Goliath that is in Neighborly. And so I think that that's something, don't kind of gloss over that. If you're watching this video, understand that that support for the franchise owners right now probably means more to me than it does to you, but it won't. When you're an owner in that system, that's you're going to say, oh, thank goodness that I have the support that I need.
We're all about making friends and making sure that people are better off in their lives for the advice that you give them. The same thing goes on here. It's not an automatic. We have a process, and we're going to make sure that's a mutual evaluation, and we're going to bring in the best. But we've been doing it for 40 years here at AirServe. And when I tell you that the support here, the marketing here, the care that everybody does well is beyond anything I've seen. I've been with 3 other major brands. This is amazing. It's on all points. You know, everybody that you all talk with, they might say, my wife is really risk adverse for doing this. Without mentioning other kinds of brands, if my wife heard me say I'm going to be going into XXX, and I hate to do it, walking dogs, picking up dog poop, painting parking lots, I'm sorry, she's not going to be too happy. You can beat me out, but every franchise is a risk. But if you take a look at it and you say, I'm going to go into HVAC. No, I don't have to be from that industry. It's a great 40-year-old brand. They're going to, lead the way, show me where I get the right people, and I'm going to have customers in our neighborhood, in our area, and it's not going to make a difference if they lose their job. It's not going to make a difference what happens in technology. It's not going away. It's not coming by Amazon. And that's really, when you have that high net, our owners tend to be of a higher net worth. They are the executives. That's what helps bring them over to us, because you have to find the right thing where our item 19, which I'm sure you're going to get to, is so strong that they can see that the future is there to replace and exceed maybe what they've been making as an executive in the corporate world. I hope that's the right answer for you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Talk a little bit, we'll get to the item 19 for sure. First, let's talk about the item 7. So what are the basic costs to get into the business? Remember, guys, item 7 is total investment. It includes working capital, includes your franchise fee. We're going to get into the details once we get into the brand. But right now, we're just kind of talking in large numbers here and rounded numbers, right? So talk a little bit about the cost to get into the business. Where are kind of the heavier items? Is it in equipment? Is it that van sitting behind you? Fill us in.
Okay. So our item 7 is going to say 107,000 to 253. The 107 we have to have in there in case someone from the industry comes in. They have the tools. They have a van.
Okay, got it.
But we don't have that much anymore. You're looking around 250, 253.
Okay.
Which is pretty typical for any of our brands that are what we do, which is repair clusters, what we call it. The difference is because the main drivers, it's your franchise fee. Your base fee is $45,000.
Okay.
That's a territory of 100,000 population. All we use is population. No minimum criteria on the income because it's HVAC. For every 1,000 over, it's 450 per 1,000. My max territory is 200,000. But AirServe, because of the quality of people we're bringing bringing in that want a bigger bite, that are that executive model, I can do up to three territories, contiguous. Okay. So we use the 45, that's built in. The next largest one is your marketing. So your marketing is going to run from a 24,000 minimum to 50,000. But here's that plus with being with Neighborly and being with AirServe. We do it differently. It's not an upfront payment. What that is 24,000 is your minimum expected expenditure for marketing that you'll work with our team on. You're not just paying a percentage. They're going to work with you through what we call our Sure Start training, which takes about 3 months. It's online. You meet every week. We bring our marketing person in. They look at that DMA, designated market area you're in. They compare it with other ones and say, based on that, what would you anticipate doing the first year? Here's data that shows, here's your 24,000. This amount will go through SEO and SEM marketing. We're going to do some direct mail. I'd like to see you do a charitable drive. This is what other people, so here's a package. Now we have Pro Trade Net with all our vendors. So here's your package. You go to your vendors and you work out your payment, you work out your rebate structure. So that could be from 24,000 to 50. That's how that works. So let's just say the 24,000, but we count the 50 in the 253. So there's a buffer. After that, working capital, I want to see probably for the first year, it'll either be 25,000 to about 90,000. It's going to depend upon the territory, what you're going to do. If you're in a state where you do need to have a license to operate, which is the plus with us, once you're in training, our person in charge of training will put you with 3 national companies who specialize with people who will lease a license. You hang that up. So part of the working capital is to lease that license. The van, everyone starts the same, Lisa. I was in a franchise before for 15 years where you had to have 900 square feet to 2,000 square feet was automotive. You had to have lifts. You had to have tires. You had to have $400,000 invested. We're just the opposite. An industrial park, hardly any inventory besides things like personal protective equipment, gases, tools. Because of Pro Trade Net, if someone needs a 3-ton HVAC unit, as you're at the house, it's on our database. It's at Train, 3.5 miles away. It's at Amana. It's just in time inventory. You go pick it up. They deliver it. So there's inventory cost is going to show between 10 and 25,000. So very small. So it's not stagnant. Those are really the big things. That's about it.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you. One van.
One van. Love it. Okay. And so question then going from so how much it's going to cost to get in. As you guys know, we're going to talk a little bit about item 19. Item 19, remember, they can't make a projection. So we can't go to Jerry and say, okay, if I spend this, do I make that? So the item 19 is always a rear view mirror. It's not a crystal ball. What does your item 19 show, Jerry? Extremely
strong. So we go by quartiles. Our top 10%, 5,095,000 sales, gross sales. Our 50th, 1,595,000. These are big numbers because I'll ask everybody out there, if you ever had to replace your HVAC unit, your furnace, it is not inexpensive.
Small ticket.
Small ticket. But the big thing now is since COVID, one of the things we do is over those other competition you mentioned, you're going to have somebody comes in with the AirServe way, fully analyze the home, talk to you about the indoor air quality, anybody with allergies, dust and allergens, those type of things, plus automation. My home, I have a Nest on it. I can operate it from my home. I travel a lot. I can control my heating and air conditioning, which also then affects my budget for my utilities. We have grandchildren that are allergic to cats, like cats. I have an air scrubber and filtration system that makes our home really, it's like a HEPA filter on steroids. My wife just, the vehicle she has to make sure she has one, thank God, that has a readout of what the air quality is inside on pollens and allergens, just for one of our grandchildren who's extremely asthmatic. People don't know about that. That's kind of part and parcel of what we do. All right, so get us into that item 19 a little bit more. Gross revenue, what are you pulling out for transparency there? 5,000,009, top, average 1.595. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Remember, guys, that's that bell-shaped curve that we talk about whenever we talk about an item 19. They can't cherry pick. They need to show, that bell-shaped curve, everybody from the bottom to the middle to the top. And when we're talking about brands, one of the things I'm going to talk to you about is that if you don't see yourself in that top half, talk to me. Let's get you a different brand, right? If you can't perform with those fast runners, there's a different brand out there that we can discuss, right? So just kind of always throwing that, making that important. So who are you looking for? When I'm talking to people, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but who am I looking for? Who should my bell start to ring? Hey, I should show them AirServe. They'd be a great franchisee. This is going to be your top candidate that comes in. This is going to be your person that's used to making a very good living. It's going to be someone who sees what's happening at their work, that sees that there's elimination coming. This is going to be the person who also says, I just had one yesterday, 39 years old. He's traveling everywhere, general manager for a large company, doesn't see his kids, wants to be with the kids. But again, a big wage earner. If they
Right.
had an opportunity to leave, they would. What do they all have in common? They have a good retirement program. They have a retirement plan. They have good money saved. They're ready to make that change, but where are they going to go? So when they understand, and the spouse as well, that you've got something as essential as HVAC. I'm looking for you to be that leader. I have a Green Beret colonel coming in, and he's retired. He's only 42 years old. This is a leader. So we're looking for that leader. We're looking for someone who sees that they can actually come in here and build something. I'll give a case study. Just closed in training, Long Island, 2 territories, a heavy multiple 7-figure net worth individual in construction, building shopping centers, owning apartments, has it all running. He wants to start something new and knows that he has to go out and hire all those HVAC people. So he knows the business. 2 territories, but he wants 20. I have an amazing person, again, nobody from the industry, John Salentic in Boynton Beach, Florida, 41 years old, was in sales. Again, a general manager, had 14 people working for him, started a year and a quarter ago, dynamic. He's now starting his 3rd truck, go by the truck. So 3rd truck, he's getting a 2nd territory. Those are the people. You're looking for those people that are empire builder.
Right.
That's the one that looks askant eye at something that doesn't maybe have the item 19 that we have, Lisa. Our validation holds up great because I have existing people from before we changed this about 3 years ago that were all HVAC. Now I have 65 new people. Believe it or not, we've been exploding, not from the industry, which really resonates with that new person. And I believe that gives us a step over many other competitors that don't have that. It's the person we're looking for.
And so, as you guys all know, it's not all unicorns jumping over rainbows, right? There's always going to be, this is a business. It's hard. Trust me. In air serve, what's that biggest challenge that the owners are facing in the first year? And how are you helping them with it?
Stay the course. Stay the course. Follow the system. If we have a marketing plan, we know what we're doing. And invest in the marketing. Invest in finding the right people that we're going to work with you with. Do not pinch pennies. So we've been doing it long enough that we don't do it for practice anymore. And if they follow that system, it works. And that's where the validation comes through. Those that don't follow it, it doesn't work.
Takes them a little longer. And then pretty soon a light bulb goes off and they say, all right, I'll try it your way. That could be an expensive light bulb.
It could be an expensive light bulb. And I have a very, very successful, high earning 1.5-year person who then validates and says, I made a mistake. But as soon as I righted it, here's where I am now. I have many of them that have been around for a while, but this is someone new. And at the end of the day, I ask everybody, you ask anybody you validate with us. I'm so proud of them. Would you do it again? And I can tell you that you're getting a 95% plus. Especially all the new ones that are people you're looking for now.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much, guys. That's going to wrap this up. Thank you again to Jerry. If you have any questions on this brand, of course, you know how to find me. You can call, text, email, carrier pigeon, click the link below, click the link over here. You can find me anywhere, right? We can talk. We can get you this video. We can get you the 5-minute, get you information and get you in front of Jerry just as quick as you want to get there. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Look forward to hearing from some of you. Take care.